This is Montreal Now with Aaron Rand and Natasha Hall. CJAD 800.
That is Jim Mennie. He is over at the Montreal Gazette. Jim, I guess we'll start by talking Dominique Anglade. You suggest that she faces the music tonight. What's the deal?
Well, I hope you all got your tubs of popcorn with your special topping and your protective helmets, because 7 o'clock tonight, there's going to be a Zoom meeting. It's going to put the Zoom in Zoom, my friend.
Oh, I see. This is the QCGN one?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Think about it. I mean, first of all, my hat's off to her for going, okay? Because I think she knows, I know, you know, the listeners know, and the angry mob, I think, that's going to show up at this also know that this is, I think, a lot of people who've blown off about 40 years of steam built up by various liberal governments. And the irony, of course, is Madame Anglade is essentially, metaphorically speaking, she's the last one holding the bag. But all those years of the liberals assuming correctly that the Anglo vote and the Allo votes were in their pocket because, God forbid, we should separate. Once that disappeared, to still behave that way, to bungle so badly on Bill 96, I think there's going to be a lot of bile spattered left, right, and center. Ooh. And that doesn't include the potential trolls who'll be sent in there by, how can I put it, other parties that are competing against the Liberals. So it's going to be, I have a sneaking suspicion that tomorrow morning, more people, and not just Anglos, I think more people across Quebec will be talking about what's going to happen tonight than Madame Anglade's promise of another 1,000 doctors and 2,000 super nurses.
Jim?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. This was today for people who didn't hear it on the news necessarily, right? The Liberal, that's one of the promises today, 1,000 new doctors, right?
Yeah. It's like, I don't know where they're going to get them from. Unless
I was waiting to hear what you were going to say.
Tomorrow's announcement will be they've perfected cloning.
Yeah, or maybe Amazon.
Or monkeys. They've trained monkeys.
No, listen, we're kind of chuckling about this, but the other, it's a terrible thing for me to say. I've said it repeatedly about the NDP. I never thought I'd be applying it so literally to the Quebec Liberal Party, but when you've got like virtually zero chance of forming the next government, you can promise whatever you want. It's like, let's face it. I'm sorry. I realize, the election hasn't happened, but there's every indicator. And as I say, I wouldn't even be talking about tonight were it not for the fact that this, I think, is going to be one of the milestones in terms of where the Liberal Party is going to be on October 4th. What we hear tonight, good or bad, I think is going to be very determinant in terms of whether the Liberals can maintain even the sort of like finger-scratching hold they have on any kind of political tradition in Quebec. They're running out of people to annoy, which is kind of scary. And when you consider that we're not that far away, the election hasn't begun, but already I think she's going into this campaign with almost both hands tied behind her back. Because unless she makes some inroads in the regions anyway, this should have been a given. Most Liberal candidates, they say, Montreal's in the bag, 4 or 5 bullets in the bag. We've got to go out. The elections are one of the regions. And I can't see any pluses on Madame Anglade's or her party's future. And I'm not letting the future go past October 3rd. I think the day after the election, we're going to see a vastly changed opposition array. And, we'll see. But right now, Dominique Anglade, who's head of the Quebec Liberal Party, the polls are suggesting she's in trouble in her own riding. We're done.
Yeah.
Who knew? But there you go. So, this is a pretty big deal. And I would urge people, if you haven't signed up, it doesn't cost anything. You just go online and at least to listen. We're covering it. I'm sure you guys are going to cover it. But the fact is, this is... who knew we'd come to this? Who knew that a town hall meeting with, essentially organized by an Anglo group, an Anglo rights group, would be such a minefield for a Quebec Liberal leader, and yet here we are.
Yeah, and by the way, we had Eva Ludwig on from the QCGN about a week ago, right? And they're planning to do these town halls with all the individual leaders. So we shall see.
But I can't see that same template. First of all, I don't think Legault is going to show up. Call me crazy. But for the other leaders, I don't think they're going to face anywhere near as tough a crowd Madame Anglade is going to face tonight.
Okay.
So people are texting in right now asking how to participate, and I followed the link from the Gazette story, but if you just go to the QCGN website, so qcgn.ca, you do have to register. As you said, it's completely free, but you have to
go to the Gazette website too, Natasha.
You can. That's true.
It's my day job. So,
click from there.
But you can go to there. You can just get on and listen. If you even if you don't ask the question, I think it's going to be a pretty fair indicator of the mood of what used to be the most reliable voting base in the history of the Quebec Liberal Party.
You know, as you say this, Jim, I think to myself, if we can go to October the 4th, the day after, and assuming that the polls are fairly accurate and the Liberals have been reduced in terms of, maybe not even being the opposition anymore.
Yeah.
And that party just basically implodes and starts all over again, doesn't it? I mean, think about the faces in that party who have any kind of, relatability, if you will, right?
If there's enough left in the wreckage, if there's still an engine core, you know what I'm saying? If you can build off of that, I'm not even sure that's them anymore. That's the question. And as for the ideals that were, espoused by the Quebec Liberal Party, they got kind of wobbly on those as well, especially in terms of like Bill 96. And this people say, the word arrogant is used a lot by Anglos when it comes to describing the Quebec Liberal Party. I think the more accurate and perhaps more dangerous word is aloof. It's like they just don't know. Mm-hmm. They presume everything's fine. They presume outside the castle everything is fine, and we have other things to do. I mean, this situation, I'll be frank with you, and you remember me ranting back in 2018, Aaron. I lay this squarely at the feet of Philippe Couillard, this wreckage that Madame Anglade has to steer through this minefield. But all that said, that doesn't change the fact she's the captain. The ship isn't sinking, but it's listing like hell to starboard. And quite frankly, I don't think tonight's going to help.
And nobody cares. That's the craziest thing. I mean, people are disappointed, but nobody's engaged. I don't know what has gone wrong with Dominique Anglade that she just simply has failed to connect. Now, I will say, in her defense, she has been readily available. Like she when we want to have her on, and she takes questions. She took phone calls from people here asking questions like she's going to do tonight. She's accessible, but for whatever reason, it's just a failure to connect.
And you raise an excellent point as well, because it'd be fascinating to see how many people actually sign on for this. Mm-hmm. Because I get the impression that a lot of that Liberal base is now tired. And doesn't have the time for this anymore.
Well, it's amazing to sit here and think about we're talking the demise, the potential implosion of a party that's been, dominating provincial politics here for so many years, and here we are talking about the fact that it may just become an also-ran. It's incredible when you think of it.
And just 8 years ago, won a breathtaking, completely unexpected, out-of-the-park victory in 2014, and decimated the PQ. And we thought, oh my God, that's it. It's done, and here we are.
That.
So true.
The times, as he said, they are a change. And Jim Mennie, the Montreal Gazette. Thank you, Jim.
Adamant.